wasn't for that,
they're filtering the background noise.
Yeah. So even if music comes up, they still hear you perfectly. So last year there was a big presentation that happened downstairs, lots of music, and you could still hear the interviewees.
Oh, that's very irritating to hear that in the background, and you still have to be concentrated and focused.
Thank you. Good afternoon and welcome back to Fujitsu Forum TV, where you join us on Media Day ahead of the doors opening tomorrow morning at 0900 Central European Time. This afternoon, whilst the world's business and technology media are here understanding the latest innovation and thinking from Fujitsu, we've gathered some of the smart minds and we're bringing you a series of interviews looking at technology within your business, the challenges that your organisation is facing right now. And of course, that's the mission for Fujitsu Forum TV, isn't it? Helping you understand the technology you should be looking at, but making sure you've got the right information to ensure that those solutions are impactful and unlocking value for your organisation or society at large. Now, one of those topics is hybrid IT. It's really exploded in recent years, hasn't it? Ecosystems have become more complex. Data has just gone from strength to strength over the last couple of years. But what does that mean for those hybrid IT solutions? How complex are they? And do you have the right strategy? More importantly, have you been asking the right questions to deliver the right strategy? Well, hopefully, over the next, 8 to 10 minutes, we're speaking to two super smart people that are going to give you all the information you need to make sure you have the right strategy going forward. I'm delighted to say we're joined by Kathrin, Hofherr, who's the Senior Product Manager here at Fujitsu, and Gernot, Fels, who's the Head of Integrated Systems, Global Product Marketing. Thank you both for coming along. Normally, I would start with the why question. But with the explosion of technology, service providers, different technology, hybrid's being forced upon business, isn't it, Gernot? I mean, you have to go hybrid if you want to succeed.
Yeah, definitely you have to go for hybrid. And today on-prem data centers are not the only place where you can run your workloads. You can run them off-prem in a co-location at a hosting provider. You can run them in a public cloud. And this is basically because workloads have different characteristics, and the characteristics of the workloads basically determine the optimum workload placement option.
I was interested by the two routes of hybrid. Can you explain what the two elements to hybrid are? I was looking at your white papers, read some of the videos that you've got up on your hybrid and IT website. We'll get a URL up on screen for that later.
Yeah, sure, I can. There is, first of all, the inside-out approach. That means you have your on-prem data center, and you want, in addition to this, consume services from the public cloud. And there may be various reasons for this. Maybe you want to extend your on-prem infrastructure by cloud resources for peak loads rather than investing in a large infrastructure that you rarely utilize at its full extent. Or maybe you want to reduce primary data center footprint, especially for test and development, and only run the productive workloads on-prem. Maybe there is a secondary data center that you use for disaster recovery purposes, and it turns out that this is rather costly. That's why you want to replace it by a DR site in the cloud. Or you want to open a new subsidiary in a geography where you don't have IT resources and skills, and you want to make IT services available from the very start. Or quite in general, you want to make new IT services available very rapidly. And then there are these guys that started their IT journey in the public cloud, mainly applicable to the startups. And they figure out, the public cloud is not the holy grail. There are use cases, for instance, workloads that have to cope with short latencies, or maybe disconnected solutions where permanent connectivity to the cloud is not guaranteed, or there are particular security, privacy, regulatory requirements that do not even allow to run a workload in the public cloud. And in this case, on-prem is the alternative. But in both cases, we will end up in a hybrid IT environment.
We're going to talk about some of the white papers that are floating around at the moment. You should go and check out fujitsu.com/hybrid IT. I was looking at the top 10 questions to answer when going hybrid. Now, I'm not going to ask you to talk through the 10 questions, but as a collective, why do we think at Fujitsu that these are the 10 questions that businesses need to be looking at if they're to get the right IT strategy?
Well, I think it already became very clear that hybrid IT is a very complex topic, and it's always very important and wise to ask the right questions first in order to make the right decisions. And Gernot already very quickly talked about workload placement options, which is probably the first of these questions. But there are further things to be considered. So what's next after the workload placement options? If you just figured out that, for example, you need to run some of your applications on-premise in your own data center, which infrastructure to choose for that? So it's probably good to go for a provider who can combine full data center concepts, including servers, storage, network, and software products that exactly fit your performance and scalability needs to be future-proof. And ideally, there would also be an intelligent and innovative system management tool on top. Then when it comes to rapid and easy deployment, it's probably all about integrated systems that are very important in that area. But that's not everything. There are further aspects to be considered. For example, who will host and manage your IT infrastructure, or how to find the right cloud service provider. And maybe even more, you have to think about cloud migration, about an efficient data protection concept, or how to combine different workload placement options. But maybe the most important question is who can support you on that hybrid IT journey. And here the vendor of choice should be able to offer a complete and holistic hybrid IT solution and also help you in finding the right balance between cloud services and on-prem IT, because there are just different workloads that have different characteristics and different requirements, and there's not the one-fits-all solution, but it will mainly end up in a combination, namely hybrid, and there are many aspects to be considered. And if our viewers are interested in getting further insights, I think they can just click on the link and download the paper.
That's a lovely segue. Let's talk about the PrimeFlex family. Co-creation is at the DNA of everything Fujitsu does. Why is PrimeFlex family so important, Gernot?
Okay, first of all, PrimeFlex is the brand for integrated systems from Fujitsu, which is about an end-to-end infrastructure solution stack, which is pre-integrated and pre-tested, which of course reduces complexity, project time, and risk when building the infrastructure. But at the same time, it also increases operational efficiency because all the individual pieces of the puzzle fit perfectly together. And on the other hand, included in PrimeFlex is a holistic infrastructure management, and PrimeFlex is also complemented by infrastructure support with a single point of contact, which of course also contributes to operational efficiency and peace of mind. What is also worth mentioning with PrimeFlex, we provide choice in terms of architectures. You know, today everybody is talking about hyperconverged, and here we also have a certain focus on, but we also understand that for certain use cases, the classic converged approach with an external storage is still the better option to go. On the other hand, we provide choice in terms of virtualization software and cloud management. Here we collaborate with the top 3 ISVs in the marketplace, which is VMware, Microsoft, and Nutanix. So we are always able to provide the best solution that fits best to our customers' needs. But now coming to hybrid, and here the great message with PrimeFlex is that all PrimeFlex systems are hybrid IT enabled. And this means they connect and integrate easily with the major public cloud services such as Microsoft Azure, AWS, VMware Cloud on AWS, just to mention a few of them. And we achieved this hybrid IT-enabled feature either on the infrastructure or platform level using technologies from our alliance partners, but also on the workload level using our enterprise service catalog manager, which is Fujitsu's intellectual property. And with this, we really help customers avoid that on-prem data centers and the public cloud are 2 separated silos. And having said this, PrimeFlex is not just a fast track to data center infrastructures, it's also a fast track to hybrid IT.
I suspect I know what the answer is going to be to the final question, but we've got this a la carte world where we're creating hybrid. I remember seeing in your the white paper how PrimeFlex is positioned in a hybrid world. By 2020, next year, 90% of organizations will have a hybrid solution. With that in mind, just how important is it for businesses to get bespoke and unbiased advice? I know you touched on it before, Kathrin, but this is a key point, right? Unbiased advice is pretty important.
Well, absolutely. So it's always good to choose a provider that doesn't push you into a direction and says, well, it's all about on-prem IT and you need your infrastructure from this one company, or it's all about cloud services. But it's good to have somebody who finds the right balance between the 2 options and who has in mind what are your business challenges, your requirements, and which scalability and performance is needed, and has a good look into your workloads. Well, just goes the trusted advisor approach.
You should go and take a look at the website, fujitsu.com/hybrid IT. It is flush full of lots of papers for your assistance. Hybrid IT is one of those topics that's really exploded and gathered pace. Another topic that's gathering pace is around quantum computing. Now, quantum is approaching its retirement years, would you believe? It's 60 this year, yet we're still a decade away from real-world examples. But the smart people at Fujitsu, they didn't want you waiting a decade. They use quantum computing to inspire digital enabler, and that's delivering solutions right now. Up next, in a little over, what are we looking at? Probably in about 18 minutes' time, we're joined by the brilliant Dr. David Snelling. He's actually going to be talking to us about the quantum solutions that are in play right now, helping us understand what is impacting business. He's also going to be telling us about how AI and quantum together are going to be breaching the future. You want to stick around for that one. Plenty of insights still to come from Fujitsu Forum. Stay with us.